I love you guys so much. You're so awesome. Okay, how is everybody doing? What questions do we have? I am going to shuffle. We're doing personal and business oracle, so we'll be sharing, a couple of those. Yes. Okay, and let's see, tomorrow, quick shout out before I forget, I'll mention it again tonight, or I mean at the end. Tomorrow, myself, Rob, Dr. Aaron, and another badass sister, Serah, also Serah, spelled a little differently, badass goddess. We will be doing Dash Radio live. So we're going to be doing a relationship series all about relationship, love, and sex, everything in between. You guys know how we roll. So tune in. I'm going to see if I can stream it on my phone for you guys. But if not, I'll definitely be putting the links for Dash Radio. And like I said, I don't know exactly how it's all going to go. So I'm new to Dash Radio, and I think we all are. Super, super stoked and fun, open, badass conversation. So also, I posted in my stories, it may have been down already. If you guys have whatever questions you want, kind of the group of us to be answering around sex, around love, relationships, dating, all of the above, then either send me a DM with those questions. How can I find my life purpose? Okay, we might dive into that for you tonight. So whatever questions you guys want us to answer on Dash Radio, we can definitely do that. Send me DMs for that. I got a couple of them that you guys sent on my stories, but we are open to supporting and bringing and just opening a deeper level of conversation around next level love and relationships and dating and what that looks like in the future and all that fun stuff, right? Oh, I want this one. Okay. So shout out to Tune Into Dash Radio. If you're not following them already, please definitely go follow them. And we will be doing live 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you. With it, Serah. Get with it. So that's going to be super fun. I can't wait. We all went out to brunch and just our conversation dynamic and different points of view. It's so hilarious. And I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I feel like you guys are all going to feel very much like you're part of the room. Go Lightly Healing. Hi, love. Hi, Montreals. So other than that, how are you guys doing? We got 2 more. Okay. And what are we answering tonight? How's everybody's energy? Good evening, whole vibrations. Yes. Okay. What's we got? Yes, Go Lightly Healing, gorgeous girl. I look at your beautiful globe crystal that you gifted me every single day. It's on my living room coffee table. I love it. I love it so much. And I put that pyrite next to my bed. So I'm sleeping with that on a nice, amazing pillar of pyrite. Okay, we're going to choose one more. So we got 4, it looks like, on the personal. And then I'm going to shuffle the business. How many spiritual entrepreneurs do we have in the house today? Building your conscious-based businesses. Okay, we want that one. Let's see. Will I share my morning ritual? You can watch. Man, these never shuffle so good. You can watch. I did my my sort of morning smoothie protein shake ritual that I do after the gym. That's still on my stories, I believe. I did a quick little live on that one. You left your job and you're really confused right now. Yes, it's a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful place to be. Confusion is actually a good thing. Confusion is always a good thing. Granted, you feel like shit right now, right? And you might feel scared and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, and there's lots of fear coming up with that. Totally get that. And how many of you guys have ever felt confused about anything in your life? How many of you guys, give some hearts if you felt confused? Oh, I want this one. Nope. Okay, I want this one, and then I want this one. Thank you. Confused, yeah. So confusion is a good thing. Hold the phone. got a jumper. Thank you. That completes the business cards. Can't wait to see what that one is. All right. Confusion is a good thing. I will explain why. Yes, right now, you're confused as well. Tell you more, please. Everybody's confused. Okay, so how many more of you guys are confused? Hi, Kylie. Okay. Confusion is a good thing when, let's preface it with this little disclaimer, when you can like push the pause button on the fear, okay, because granted, confusion, you don't have certainty, you're like, oh God, what's going to happen? And then you start rolling around in the head, trying to overanalyze, trying to control, right? And so that will actually stop energy. The more that you try to control and hold on to things, that will stop the flow of energy, right? So if/when you can put a pause button on whatever that fear is that's coming up from the confusion, you can move into recognizing that confusion, like the very next step for confusion, if you're in confusion, it literally means that you're about to learn something new. You're about to learn something new. You're about to gain something new, right? It's like a prime opportunity for being able to receive something completely new. But now that's why if/when you can put a pause on the fear, because the fear will actually keep that newness from coming in. So if you can, like I said, just like recognize that if you're in a space of confusion, it's a really wonderful opportunity that something new is about to take place, or you're going to be gaining something new, right? Does that make sense? So we celebrate confusion. We celebrate confusion, especially when you're going through like an internal transformation. It means you're on the verge of a breakthrough. It means that like your old pattern is about to like release and you're going to then be shifting into a new awareness. That's where confusion is, right? If you think about it, like confusion is kind of like chaos, right? So there's many different things happening, right? It's like just threw all the leaves in the air and you're just like, oh my God, and there's too many different things and now you're confused. So again, if you can put a pause on the overwhelm with that, confusion is the cocoon. Confusion is actually feminine energy, because if chaos, which is also feminine energy, is creative, right? Like if you think about creative energy, like it's very fluid, it's very open, it's very all over the place. It's very, right? You use the masculine energy to compartmentalize and organize and, right? And move forward with things. But feminine energy is creative and chaotic and sometimes very confusing. And so trusting and knowing that if you're in a space of confusion, you're also in that space of deep, deep, deep feminine, which, yes, the feminine is also vulnerable. If you're in confusion, you got to be like sitting and okay with that feelings of vulnerability. And that's a new mindset that we have to shift as well, that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness, right? So lots of different just shifts and perspectives on confusion and vulnerability with that. Does that make sense? Confusion is feminine. It's creative. So if you're in that space of creative, if you're in that space of confusion, it means that you're also in the space, you're in the same vibration of creativity. But again, if you're holding onto the fear of uncertainty that also comes with that confusion, then you won't access the vibration of that creativity. You won't access the gifts that then are coming into you. Make sense? And lots of insomnia the past week. Check your diet. I don't know what that means for you, but check your diet. We also have a lot more electromagnetics, right? So a little bit on like the physical sense, physical body, diet, all of that stuff. But there's so many more electromagnetic frequency, like even just Los Angeles alone, I'm pretty sure they already rolled out. I have to double check. They were supposed to already have rolled out 5G. And I don't know where else in the world that they're doing that, but that it's fucking with our energy fields. It's putting everybody in a heightened state of fight or flight. It's putting everybody in a heightened state of anxiety, right? It's the non-tangible energy fields that are affecting our biofield, the non-tangible ley line fields of our body, right? And then that's creating more internal anxiety, right? Definitely just start a new nutrition program. So that very well could be. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Some like when we're making new adjustments, right, with the physical body, then that's going to shift your subconscious, right? It's going to bring up some older patterns, and it's going to shift a lot of times your dream state, because as you're releasing things, even especially if you guys ever noticed when you're doing like a cleanse or a detox, like you have really weird dreams because it's whatever you're cleansing out and it's going through the body, and then that's happening at the same time that you're in dream realm, which is your dreams or your access to your subconscious mind, right? The specific brain waves. I must be a Lemurian princess. I have been there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you guys watch Aquaman? Like, not the best movie, but they brought in some really cool like visuals of like Lemuria and Atlantis and all that stuff. Lemuria was the first one. Atlantis was the second one. Atlantis was where, when Atlantis felt like that, like that's when all of the talk about electromagnetic frequencies and using technology and vibration and codes and geometry and all of this non-tangible sort of architecture of the way the universe works. Like we were using all of these gifts. We have access to all of our gifts, every single person, and we abused them. This is my personal belief based on certain past life memories. So see whatever resonates with you. We abused them and we didn't use them for good. We didn't use this wisdom that we have and this knowledge about the subtle energy fields and geometry and how we can influence the non-tangible realm. We weren't using that with true integrity and honor and respect for the technology and what it could do, right? We were abusing it and we were using it to manipulate more than we were to grow and evolve. And I feel like that's kind of karmically where we're at in a sense right now, right? It's almost like the flip side of, or sort of reliving certain timelines, certain repeat. We've been given an opportunity to shift that which happened in Lemuria and Atlantis. We've been given an opportunity now to actually reverse that sort of karma, right? One of the reasons why I feel like I incarnated down here for this particular time. So that's why I geek out on subconscious transformations and downloading codes from the universe, and that's like my nerdy term for it. That's why I geek out on electromagnetic frequencies and understanding how the Egyptians, and they used architecture and design to actually emanate specific vibrations and how that affects like the vibration of our body, like all the non-tangible, your subconscious minds, your thoughts, your emotions, and then all this stuff that we can't see specifically. You can see intuitively, you can see energetically, right? But it's not tangible. All of that is affecting us. And I believe that we can we can harness all of that to actually raise our vibrations. So we can do some of it internally, and then we can actually set up certain things externally that support that field as well, right? Some of you guys know, I'll give a little shout out. So if you ever want to check out like the jewelry or the hologram technology, like hologram sticker technology that has all the sacred geometry, like badass, with my business partner, who's also my dad. Total, we hung out in Lemuria, and he's such a, like, he just downloads these amazing, amazing information and then puts it into design, right? Puts it into actual like tangible design. So taking ancient Egyptian as well as like true transformational geometry, like true sacred geometry, and putting that into specific design. So if you guys ever want to check that stuff out, you can go to sovereign-alliance.com. There's a link in my bio. It's the heart chakra necklace, and there's some other things on there as well. But that, for instance, is like why would we wear jewelry? I mean, I do. Why would we wear jewelry that I need to remake these that actually have energy in them, right? But we can be wearing jewelry that has energy in it. We can be putting different technology in our room, right? Crystals are really powerful. Geometry, even more powerful, because you can alter the geometry to emanate a specific vibration that you want. And specifically, coming full circle to electromagnetic frequencies, you can create a geometric code that will transmute the detrimental, the bad EMF fields from your cell phones, from technology, from all over, that's actually having a negative effect on your energy body and thus your physical body. So when you know what the vibration is, yes, hearts on that. When you know what the vibration is, then you can design a counter vibration, if that makes sense, right? Using angles, using density, using specific dimensions, right? I have not written a book yet. Okay, so sacred geometry, orgone pyramids. I love the artwork of those. I think they're super badass on that front. And they it's one of the reasons why, like crystals, you need to clear crystals a lot, because they will absorb energy, but then they'll also amplify it. So if you're not clearing your orgone, then it'll absorb some of the EMF and then amplify it, right? Favorite soul circle conversation so far, honestly, awesome. Creating your energetic environment, exactly. It's what we call sacred space, right? It's like creating your temple, your energetic temple, right? So there's should I tell you a little teaser about what we're almost ready to roll out? Should I tell you kind of a little bit? Should I give you a little tease on the next thing that we're going to be? Give some hearts if you want me to share and it's specifically for women, but it could be used for men too, but it is specifically for women. Okay, we got some hearts on it. So, okay, lots more hearts. So my dad, who's another, again, like I said, genius, like has put all of this badass geometry into a very thin, very flexible, highly effective. I just got the prototype 2 days ago, and I tested it on myself, and we're calling it the Moon Remedy card. And so that's why I say it's for women, because as women are going through their cycle every moon, all the pain that comes up, this is a card that literally has geometry and code specifically in it to transmute, like it's a pain card. So that's why I'm saying, like, you could use it, like guys could use it, or like anybody could use it, like if you got a headache or whatever, any physical pain on the body. But this particular one we're rolling out specifically for women during that time. So I have tested it. I had tested the other prototypes, so we're gonna test it on a couple other people who are very highly energetically sensitive as well. But I'm very, very excited about that. So that's just that's like a little tidbit on the things that we can do, right? The holograms that we do already are, I mean, yes, it has the flower of life in it, but it has this layer. It's like a hologram sticker actually has 4 layers, right? So each layer has a specific design on it that it acts like a filter. So as the like they're on my cell phone right now, and they're actually on the corners of my computer as well. So as the electromagnetic frequency is coming off of the computer or the cell phone, then this is like a filter, like a Brita filter, right? And it goes through the 4 layers, all the geometry then shifts the vibration, because we know that energy doesn't disappear, but we can change its form. So if it's going through a filter, then it's going to change form as it goes through that filter. So by the time it then gets to our physical body, then it doesn't have the same vibrational effect on our physical body, right? Interesting. Do I make womb chakra purifying meditations? I have not yet. That's an interesting one. I will be recording some meditations that have neurolinguistic programming, subconscious mind, sort of transformational language. And I'm not going to talk about that. That's a surprise. I'm doing lots of fun things. Lots of fun things I'm about to roll out. Everything's getting bigger and broader. Super fun. So I'll be announcing that soon. I've been on, I had a friend of mine is releasing this indie film and asked me to come on and do the social media campaign and doing all of that stuff for it. So I've been diving into that, having so much fun with that. And so doing that at the same time as building out everything, right? Everything's building the digital empire over here, building the digital empire. So the book might happen next year. I'm still deciding what I want to put in the book. Okay. I don't make candles. No, I don't make candles. That is, babe, thank you, Juliana. Trickling it out, trickling it out. Okay. Okay. So what else? How are you guys? What is going on? How are you guys doing? How's the energy for everybody out there? And where are you? Do we have anybody new? Who's new? Intuitive Libby, you need one of those cards. Okay, we're testing them, and then just to like, just to confirm everything, and then I'll put them. I'll put them up on the website. I don't want to say when. I don't want to say when. So let's see. What do we got? You guys always ask me about my beauty regimen. I do my best to use non-toxic, organic, healthy, as best as we can products, whether that's for my face, whether that's makeup, all of that stuff. Newbies, yay. Second soul circle. I love that. Serah and is that Terry Run? Awesome. And make life beautiful. I love that. Welcome to the tribe. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome, welcome. People trying to cross them like crazy. Oh, boundaries. So when you say people are trying to cross them like crazy, so how are you, right? Everything we don't sugarcoat anything here, and I love you very much. And where are you crossing your own inner boundaries? Like if other people are crossing boundaries to you, right? You're the one that sets the tone. Everything that's happening outside of you is the echo, right? So that's how you, like your personal power is being the creator of your reality when you can recognize that everything starts within and you take on that fully so that if anything's happening outside of you, whatever the complaint is, it means that there's something happening within that is causing that external projection to show up so that then you can recognize it within and shift it within. When you shift it within, it shifts outside, right? So you're saying people are trying to cross boundaries. One, people can't do anything. Nobody can do anything unless you have an agreement with allowing them to, right? Because even saying, oh, they're trying to do this or they're doing that, that's all giving your power away over to them, right? And then going within and saying, okay, like where are you crossing your own boundaries with yourself? Where did you maybe make an agreement with something that you wanted to do, a goal, or doesn't even have to be a big goal, but just something where you were like, okay, like I'm going to stick to my guns on this one, right? Not guns. We need a better term. I'm going to stick to my truth on this. And then maybe something happened, somebody said something, whatever the experience is, that you were like, oh, well, maybe I'll just let it slide just a little bit, or just this time, and I'll do it next time, right? Like, where did you slip on whatever your personal agreements were with yourself, you crossing your own personal boundaries that you set for yourself, right? And yes, just pushing to see how far. Okay, so are you pushing yourself to see how far? Like, I call it tethering. It's like riding the edge, you know? You're like, okay, let's just see how far on the edge until it just feels too dangerous for whatever that means for you. But if you're tethered, right, then you can walk the line of that edge, you know, because you're like, oh, but I'm tethered. I'm like held on, right? So you can like lean into the edge a little bit more. Does that make sense? It can get really fun. And you got to just remember like you're walking your own line, right? Okay. Let's see. I love this question. Okay, and we said good. So somebody else thinks this is a good one too, from Serah Pelham. I love this question. I get asked this question a lot. I especially get asked this question when my clients are going from shifting the old patterns into then stepping into the next highest version of their personal power. So the question is, why am I so afraid of my own power and success? Who has heard me, put some hearts, who has heard me answer this question so far? I want to just see, because I'll answer it again for sure. But how many of you guys have heard this one so far, and how many of you know how I usually answer this? Is it enough to do? Yes. What's scaring you? Is it enough to do the things that I love to find my life purpose? As long as it's fulfilling for you. I mean, that's a much bigger question. Okay, so when I don't see if it resonates for you. I don't believe that there is a fear of success or a fear of failure. Like, I don't think that that's what it is, right? And I'll explain it this way. It's interesting that you say fear of your power, though, right? Because it's not the success that you're truly afraid of. If you were to look at the fear, whatever that is, as resistance, right? Like tight resistance energy, then think of it as like, imagine like a rope, right? And you have, let's say, this next higher version of yourself, right? Or a future self, wherever you want to see that, high above, in front of, whatever. And so you're holding onto this rope, and there's that future version of you. And that future version of you has all of those goals and those dreams and those visions that you have and that you're excited about, right? And that you want to be able to achieve. And yet, where you're standing is in the middle of that and your past self, right? So you're kind of in this rope, you're in the middle of this rope, and your future self or your higher self is pulling you, right? There's an energetic draw. I don't mean pulling like manipulating, but I mean pulling as in like it's magnetizing you towards where you want to go, because your soul is intuitive towards what that next version of you is, right? It's like it's always guiding you towards that. It's like a heart tug, right? It's why you're inspired to be like, oh, but I want to do this and I want to do that, right? That heart tug is actually the solar plexus and the sacral of your higher self. So it's the like kind of engine of your higher self, right? And it's magnetizing you to that next version of you. And you're standing where you're standing in the present, and you have your past self, which has all the past traumas, it has past patterns, it has your inner child that's not fully integrated, and so it's freaking out because it thinks that it's going to be abandoned by you again, right? There's lots of different things that are happening from your past self. And that past self then is like, and it's like pulling back on the rope. So there's creating resistance between your past self pulling and your future self magnetizing you into the next version of you. Making sense so far? I don't know what that means. Okay. So that's definitely what's going on. Okay, exactly. So if you can look at it and how many people are relating to this? Because this is like any situation. Okay, hearts, great. So any next version of you. That's why I also say that there's nothing wrong, but there's also, it's not fear, it's just resistance, right? So whether it's you stepping into a next version of you in relationships, whether it's you stepping into that next version of you in your, spiritual, like entrepreneurship, or maybe it's the next level of you of who you need to be in your job, in your workplace, whatever that is. Yes. Okay. Then there's always where we're at and where that next version of us is, right? So there's nothing wrong. There's just where we're at and that next version of us, and whether we're being drawn to going into that direction or whether we're resisting going into that direction, right? But that pull is always going to be there because your deeper spirit, your soul always knows. It always knows the highest version of you, and it's constantly creating that magnetism to lead you / pull you into that. And the only thing that causes upset in our lives is our resistance to that energetic pull. That's really the only thing. If you're upset about anything, you're in resistance. If you're stuck or confused, you're in resistance. You're also in creativity, but you're in resistance. Right? So your past self, which is why we say, okay, self-love, do the subconscious repatterning work, clear out all the things that the past self is really just holding you back from being that next highest version of you. That's why we do that inner work, right? So once you can then release all of that, then there's no resistance. It's like the rope, instead of being tugged on, it just disappears. And now you can be in flow, right? They call it flow state. Now you can listen to your intuition more. You've removed that block from your heart as well, right? Now you can be like, oh, cool. Like, should I go over here? Should I try this over there? You can become more of like a yes energy rather than a no energy. Will keep you stuck. Fluid will keep you going. Will invite more possibilities into your life. Will create more momentum for anything and everything, for more love, for more success, for more abundance, for more, if abundance means money, abundance means many different things, right? You can be abundant in love and money and whatever that is, right? But abundance in general happens when you're in flow, not when you're in resistance. Does that make sense? Okay. What else? So that's why, to cap all that, yes, hearts. To cap all that, that's why I say you're not afraid of success. That's not what you're afraid of. You're just in resistance to that next highest version of you. And that next highest version that's magnetizing you into that. You have those past programs that you're holding on to, the past story, all of that stuff. Until that's gone, you're just holding the rope and causing the tension and the resistance to continue. And you're calling it fear. Because if you think about it, tightness, right? There's anxiety there. Tightness, there's fear there. The equal vibrations to tightness are all of those things. So you'll experience all of the same, you'll experience all of the feelings that are in the same vibration to tightness and resistance, right? Fear, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. Versus reprogram the subconscious, release the past story, release the rope, and now you can actually be in flow. Where you go from there, then you can just create strategy, and you can get more into like the visualization. It becomes more of that, it's taking the chaotic creativity and funneling it into something really beautiful and fluid and momentous, in the sense of just feeling like you're on purpose, feeling like things are happening with you and for you in a really fun, synchronistic way, right? You get more of those synchronistic moments where you're like, wow, how did that just perfectly align like that? Because you don't have any resistance. You don't have any resistance in the universe, which is you universe, can then bring more to you. Or rather, it's not that it's bringing stuff to you, it's that it's already there. And when you release the resistance, then you can actually accept it because it's already there, right? I have the energetic marketing down packed. Thank you. And marketing and relationships are very the same, right? But it also, first and foremost, comes down to your relationship with yourself. Always. You guys already know that, right? We all know that, but it's like, it's the how to then do that. That's the difference. That's what we need the tools for, right? That's the area that I love geeking out on. So we do that, we get really clear inside, and then we get really clear on, cool, now what's going to be like the marketing aspect of like creating your digital empire. That's my new sort of favorite fun thing to be doing. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. It's so much fun because all of you are here to share a very specific message. Some of you want to do it in a larger capacity, right? Some of you want to be that sort of influencer, that voice. Some of you want to help people in a larger capacity all over the world, right? That's who I love working with. Stop, drop, love. Yes. And then build your empire. Digital empire. Stop, drop, love. And then build your digital empire. Okay. Interesting. That's an exhausting way to live. Juliana, yes. And yet, we're all doing it. I still have days. I still have days where I like wake up and I'm like, or I set a new goal. I set a new vision, right? And then it scares me for a little bit because that's the next highest version. So fear's always going to come up with that. Whenever you set a next highest version, you're always going to have fear because it's going to mean that you're going to have to release the tension of that version of you that you've been so far. So you have to step into another higher version of yourself. It means that you're going to be, I don't want to say asked more of, right? And yes, at the same time, it's so rewarding, 100%. And gotta release it. But it still happens. I still get it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. And I set that vision and then I'm like, oh, this is what we're doing. And then I got to reprogram, release the tension so that then that fluidity can keep coming through, right? So when you do it more, right, then it gets faster, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Everybody's human. I'm still human most days. So it's still going to happen no matter what. But you just start getting good. You start building a muscle that just works faster, right? The name of the game isn't to stop something from happening that you don't want to happen, because that's you're human. There's always going to be something that's going to trigger you or upset you or cause fear or whatever, right? There's always going to be something like that. The goal is not to stop those things from happening. The goal is to be able to sense them, bring awareness to them, track them, and transmute them faster than you have in the past, right? I'm an angel. Thank you, baby. Seraphim. That's what my parents named me after. I don't know if they really understood what that meant. I mean, they knew what it meant, but I would say that with love only because I've had my fair share of being a rambunctious child. I can only imagine what I've put my parents through. And yet they've always been very supportive. Okay. What does that mean? Not our job to interfere with others' contracts. What do we mean by that? What types of intentions do I use to create energetic fluidity? Great question, Yemen Bell, if I pronounce that right. So I'll say it this way. For instance, if we were working together, and this goes for everybody too, right? Like I don't set intentions, not first, because our intentions, one is very much in the mind, right? So I like to consider myself more of an emotional empowerment, right? Or mastering emotional empowerment and teaching how to master emotional empowerment, because your emotions are the most powerful. So if your intentions, right? If you set an intention with something from a mindset and your emotions aren't congruent with that intention, then the emotion will override the intention from manifesting, right? So then that energetic fluidity, there'll still be static or tension within that fluidity, right? Or it just won't be fluid, right? Within that creation or that intention. Does that make sense? So, for instance, like if we were working together, what I would have you do is find out first what your subconscious limiting intentions are. Limiting beliefs, call them whatever you want, but they're the things that you're saying in your mind. Some of them you can hear, and some of them are still deeply lodged into your subconscious. So we would find out what those specifically are, and then teach you how to actually delete them from your subconscious so that then they're not affecting your field. The emotions there's no charge around them, right? Then you can go in and actually program the ones that you do want that are positive. But it's like listening to your favorite song and your least favorite song at the same time if you have negative emotions while trying to have positive intentions, right? It's like favorite song, not so favorite song, and there's a bunch of static. So we have to get rid of the not favorite music. Do that, and then you can actually hear more of what your intentions are, right? So that's what creates fluidity. It's not let me say it this way. It's more of the releasing what's in the way of the fluidity. It's more of that, not just that, but more of releasing what's in the way of the fluidity than it is actually setting or causing or putting into place the thing that will cause fluidity. Does that make sense? Because if we're saying that we're trying to cause something, then it means that we're in the place of lack, that we don't have it, and now we need to obtain something to cause something to happen, but we're still coming from the place of not having it, right? Rather than coming from, okay, let me just release whatever's in the way of not having it, and then it just allows it to come to you. Did I say that yes, makes total sense. Okay, cool. So it's more of, again, I just want to reiterate, it's not the only thing, but it's more of releasing that rather than creating more. We're in, like, our whole universe is abundant. You are abundant. We are all abundant. We have everything that we need. We just have all this stuff in the way of everything that we need, right? All these belief systems, and I mean, you name it. You guys already know it, right? But we have to actually get into the tangible, practical tools of how to actually remove those things. So then everything that already is, that already exists, that's already here, that you're walking through abundance all the time, it already is. There's nothing new that's going to get created. As the universe expands, you could say that there could be more newness that happens, right? And that's that's way more quantum than we're going to go in this conversation. But for the majority, there is nothing more new, right? Like, you already have everything. Am I making sense? Like, you have access to abundance of everything. You just have the what's in the way. We just have to get rid of the what's in the way. And then what's left? Everything. Everything. You like hearing that? Okay. How do we stay in 5D permanently? That's not actually possible. It's not actually possible. And let me break it down this way. Oh my gosh. And we'll get to cards after this question. 5D, fifth dimension, is a state of being. It's a state of awareness. It's not a place, right? It's not somewhere you go. So again, kind of what I was exactly explaining. It's not something that you obtain. It's not a place that you go to, right? It's broadening your internal awareness that will give you access to the vibration of that dimension. But it's not somewhere that you go to, right? And you're still human. As long as you're in a physical form, you will still be balancing all dimensions below 5. and the ones above, right? Because those still exist as well, right? But it's not a, like I said, it's not a thing that you go to. It's a state of being. It's a state of awareness. Does that make sense? So again, removing the blockages, doors, perceptions that are in the way of that awareness. That's what has you be more there in 5D than be anywhere else. Yes, makes sense? That's a deeper conversation. How do you know what level you're on or dimension? So again, it comes down to your state of awareness. So if let's do it this way. Simple. Let's go super simple. Keeping in mind that there's varying degrees within this simplistic example, right? What level of vibration do you believe love is? High or low? High or low? Put high or low. What level of vibration do you believe love is? High or low? Oh, wait. So we already know the answer. Anybody who says low means it's in the wrong room. High, exactly. And what level of vibration is fear? High or low? Pretty sure everybody's in the same room saying low. And I know it's taking a second to get, we're still getting highs from love. Okay, so vibration is high, love is high, fear is low, right? What dimension do you believe love is in? What dimension do you believe love is in? And what dimension do you believe fear is in? So if you're running more of the vibration of fear, then you're going to stay in those levels of dimensional awareness. And if you're staying more in love, which has all the varying degrees of it, then you're going to stay more in the vibrational consistency and fluidity of the dimensions that are higher, right? And the awareness of it, right? Or the awarenesses of it and in it. Make sense? Because then you have everything in between. If you look at it as just a pendulum, you've got fear and you've got love. And let's say they're the ends, they're the polar opposites. They're still in the same wheelhouse, but they're on polar opposites. So you have fear and then you have love and then you have everything in between. So if you're more on the fear side, then you're somewhere more on those lower vibrational dimensions. And if you're more on the high side, then you're somewhere more in the higher dimensions. Right? Cards? Cards? Yes. Okay, cool. That was pretty, was that good? Is that good? Do you guys, I feel like we got I feel like there were some new awarenesses coming through for you guys, or some, at least, did we have some aha moments? I love aha moments. They're like, did anybody have a popcorn moment? Phenomenal, great explanation. Awesome. I love that. You're welcome. You're welcome, darlings. You're welcome. Who's that? I don't know. Okay, let's do some cards. Rosie hasn't come out in a while. Where's Rosie? Miss Rosie. A conscious Jersey girl. Okay. All right, let's see what Rosie gets for the cards. Oh. Pandora's gift. Pandora's gift, y'all. What was left? We got this one a while ago, huh? We got this one a while ago. It's been a couple months. Pandora's gift. Everything and everything. Anything and everything was in Pandora's box, right? Like, she opened it and like let it rip. And then she freaked out thinking that she did something bad, and she shut it. And the only thing that was left was hope in the box. The only thing that was left in the box was hope. So taking that into consideration when you're looking at your personal life, like where, I gotta speed up. Okay. Where are you opening Pandora's box? Letting all things rip? Okay, I got that note too. Okay, where are you just letting it rip in Pandora's box, right? And letting the experience of everything, right? That's where I get like, or that's what I'm getting with this one is like hope also is kind of like thinking that then there's something like, I know hope, yes, is a good thing, but at the same time, the flip side of if you're having hope, like I'm glad hope was left in the box. I'm pretty sure that's what I said last time, right? I'm glad that hope was left in the box, because if we have to hope for something, then it means that we're again in the lacking of it, that then we're hoping something's going to happen. And yet Pandora's box is everything and anything. And that goes for emotions on the good side and the bad side. That goes for situations that happen on the good side or the bad side, or the deeming of good and bad, right? And yet experiencing everything in your life, being grateful and a blessing for everything that's happening in your life. Anything and everything, because it's giving you the perception of like your internal box, right? Pandora's box, that's a metaphor for like your internal box and allowing all of that to open up, right? Okay, I wanna move through these quickly. So open up your box of everything and anything, all of the emotions, all of the experiences that you want to have, just like open it up. Okay, and then after you open it up, whatever's coming to you, you have to be in the space of receiving, right? So in the space of receiving has limiting beliefs of you not thinking that you are worthy of receiving everything, because maybe some of the things in Pandora's box that you've been receiving are the things that like, not so fun, or the things that we think are bad or negative, or that we're judging, thinking that it's bad and negative. And so now we're shutting off everything. We just close the box. Oh my God, we freaked out. We closed the box. We don't want to experience anything anymore. And yet if you're shutting yourself off from receiving the negative, the so-called negative, right? Keeping in mind that everything has a lesson and everything has a positive voice for it, even undesired emotions. If you're shutting yourself off from receiving those, then you're also shutting yourself off from receiving anything positive. You're shutting yourself off from the fluidity, right? Which goes back to that earlier conversation of like being in flow of everything. So you have to allow the fluidity to happen. If you're holding tight, there's no flow, there's no receiving, because you're trying to control. You're so much in control. Like, just let go of the rope and stop trying to control everything. Into that space of trust that like you are the universe and there is a greater plan that is already out there. There's everything, the abundance is already there. You just have to release the resistance in order to then receive, right? Everything we were talking about before. Follow your own rhythm. Whatever that is for you, stop looking and comparing and doing whatever you think everybody else is doing, or what you should do, or what your family says, or what past culture says, or what society says. Like, who cares? You are a unique individual who is meant to experience your own soul's expression. Shoot. Okay. And going beyond normal. We went a little quantum today as well, right? So get out of, I love that this is like higher above. Get into the higher realms, go into, once you release that resistance, get into, allow the higher version of you to then come in. It's going beyond the norm. Be the cycle breaker that is going beyond the norm. Oh my God, it's gonna count down. Okay, we're gonna do business super quick. Fill the hole. So this is for my spiritual entrepreneurs. Fill the hole. Instead of searching for the big idea, find the hole, the missing piece, and fill it. I'm gonna have to do this super quick. The genius paradox. These brilliant innovators make their own laws. Beware of their flaws. They're here to change the world. Shout out to all my change leaders, you spiritual entrepreneurs that are here to build your digital empire and be that voice of change. That's for you. Get in touch with it if that's something that is feeling like your heart and that's something that you're wanting to do, right? We need more. We need more people who are lit up and on fire and bringing like actual awareness to the masses on a large scale. That's what we need. That's like, and I love it says the genius paradox, right? Everybody has their own flaws, and yet your flaws are going to lead you to actually your greatest gifts that will help everybody else. No more breakdowns. It can take more effort to recover from a communication breakdown than to avoid one in the first place. Okay? And then disarm your trigger. Whatever trigger is stopping your flow, what's the root of it? Standard time. Tune in tomorrow. I will put another link on the or in my stories for Dash Radio at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Me, Dr. Aaron, Rob, Sarah. We're going to have a blast talking about love, sex, relationships, dating, everything in between. Mwah! I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye. Bye, YouTube.